my name is Shona Goknar.
Shona, could you spell your first and last name?
I was about to say, and I'm sure you'd like me to spell that. So my first name is S-H-O-N-A, and my last name is G-O-C-H-E-N-A-U-R.
And the name of your organization?
Axis of Love SF, which is A-X-I-S-O-F-L-O-V-E-S-F.
Perfect. And why are you here today?
Well, we're here today to address a few concerns with Prop 64 and also to give sort of a state of compassion report, because a lot, not only due to our nervousness about the possible passage of Prop 64, which will limit a lot of poor patients' access via, an almost tripling in price, and there's also a possible limiting of the conditions that would qualify you for being a medical cannabis patient. And we've also had a state law go through the State House recently that repeals SB 420, and that was our right to communally grow. And a lot of poor and indigent patients, that was our lifeline to free to no cost medical cannabis. And so with the combination of the two, we're really looking at a crisis in compassionate care. And this all started here in this city for people that were sick. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to get authentic patient advocates at the state lobbyists' tables to go over policy, and we certainly weren't consulted about Prop 64, which also contains jail time. And there were 20 community ballots also entered, none of which contained jail time. And so we're really fearing that what happened in Washington State with the ceasing of their medical cannabis program, and just recently Oregon also said that they would be removing their medical program in favor of adult use. We don't want that to travel to California.
And so why not? You just think it would make it more expensive to have access if you're not getting it deemed as medical?
I think it's very important to keep both medical cannabis and adult use in reasonable regulations. We're going to what we're going to see with impractical regulations that are coming at our community is we're going to lose a lot of our small farms and our smaller compassionate businesses.
And so even if, it passes its, legal to use for recreational use, you still can't legally buy it then, I think, until 2018 or something. Is that a concern as well, just the timeline for how long that will take?
I think the timeline concerns are more along the line of that, if this passes on Tuesday, patients who don't have a state medical card aren't going to qualify for being exempt from taxes and etc. I think also, California deserves much better. We were fine with slowing down and working out the kinks in the state law and protecting patients' access.
So what's your involvement? How did you get, involved in this argument?
So I was a proponent of MCLR version 3, which was a state ballot that was the first open source document to be filed in the state of California. So over 1,000 activists worked on it, and I participated heavily in the compassionate provider, compassionate care portion of the proposed ballot measure. So as far as entering on the state level, there were other options. It's just once billionaire Sean Parker walked into the room and went with the most corporate group, there was no way for the community ballots to sustain our funders, because nobody felt that they could outspend a billionaire.
So one more time, what's your kind of quick reason to sell a voter on your cause here?
We don't want people to go to jail for cannabis. We want it to be reasonable for compassionate providers to get permits. And we want to make sure that patient safe access stays in California. We don't want to see what happened in Washington happen here.
Oh, in Monsanto.
Thank you so much. Well done.
Yeah, you left out Monsanto.
Yeah, and
how long did your argument? So you started with what was the first measure that you were working on before this came about?
So we were part of the MCLR,
Okay.
and
Not familiar.
it's an open source document. You can go to
Okay.
MCLR.us.
Okay.
And it's really sad because there was a whole bunch of other community ballots entered as well. None of them contain jail time.
Yeah.
0 contain jail time. This also contains a portion where you can be
Get away from
imprisoned
me,
up to a year if you don't allow these deputized officers into your home. So you kind of are, you're not having your basic Fourth Amendment rights to be, reasonable, probable cause to come into your own home. And what we're going to see is a huge corporate takeover. That's what patients are scared of.
Yeah.
And California has such a unique craft.
Like you said, started here, huh?
It started here, and I've been doing compassionate care for over...
what is this? This is for...
It's information.
Okay.
That she can't tell you fast.
Okay, wonderful. Can I keep this?
All of it.
Okay.
Please keep it.
And definitely look.
Okay, wonderful. We'll get some shots of you guys doing your thing.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
So
Thank you.
Just
Whose pen?
start over here, and I'm figuring we can get up.
Thanks for helping us.
Hey, how you doing,
Let's
guy?
kind of gather up.
Here, Denise.
That's what we had as a semicircle-ish shape. But just make sure people can get through. So let's kind of gather and
Shona, we're live streaming.
okay. So I just want to thank everybody for, first of all, for showing up and for being here and for being willing to stand up against corporate cannabis. That is so brave, really, because one of the things that we were learning this morning was that Ed Rosenthal released a statement saying that he is not voting for Prop 64, and that all the small businesses and organizations that have been willing to come out against Prop 64 have been basically put on a hit list by corporate cannabis in this state. And that's really shameful because San Francisco started medical cannabis, and it should not be taken over by a corporation, basically seeking their business interests and their market interest, really. And so what we really want to get out to voters today, because it's a complicated discussion. It's not as easy as, hey, vote yes or no because you believe in legalization for cannabis. It's a more complex discussion at this point. It's more about how do we legalize and how do we make it a fair game? How do we make it so that our small farmers and our compassionate providers are actually able to get legal permits and aren't pushed back into the underground? And unfortunately, we've seen that in Washington State already, so we don't actually have to sort of wonder, could that actually be in the stew? We've already seen it up the coast, and we've already heard about patients not having the ability to get the same craft medicine from collectives that know them, that care about them. And let's be honest, we're scared that some of these billionaires that are backing this measure are connected to Monsanto. And the reason that we are fearful of that is because it's accurate information about the funders. So we really need to make sure that when we're talking to folks, we're willing to get into a longer discussion than just a few minutes. Be sure that when we're talking to folks, we let them know that there's jail time for cannabis associated with this. And there's something that we've been doing for 15 years now that will possibly be not allowed to do, and that's give compassionate care to indigent and poor patients who can't afford their medical cannabis. So So that is the craziest thing, to think about legalization erupting into a situation where patients can no longer receive medicine from compassionate caregivers for free or at cost. And we're looking at a situation where we know that only really the wealthiest of wealthy are going to get these big mega permits. And then we have to understand, why did Senator McGuire from Sonoma County, so that's like basically a lot of where a lot of the craft farms are, came out and opposed 64 for environmental reasons. Because with the mega permit, oh my God, the mega permit is just enormous. And the imprint that could make on the environment is unthinkable. And here we're
Can you hold this again?
thinking the small craft farmers, who are in general very good to the environment and respecting of Mother Earth, to a huge mega corporation. And then we know what happens from there. The quality of our medicine goes down.
Yep.
And the price goes up. So when we're looking at the quality of medicine going down and the price going up, that's no way to even begin the first step to legalization. And a lot of the information that's out there about the effects that this has had on communities of color is being exploited. So everybody should know that in 2011, small amounts of cannabis were changed to just an infraction. So when you have an infraction, there's no jail time associated or anything like this. The Prop 64, the yes size, they are using statistics from nearly a decade ago, from before it moved down to an infraction. So we've heard from law enforcement that they don't have anyone in California jailed for this. Some of the unfortunate things that we're also hearing is that this piece has parental protection. This piece does not have, while we're in the light barriers today, we have a truck. Hey. So the parental protection portion is also really alarming. I actually contacted the CPS lawyer who sort of guided them in writing that portion. And it's one sentence. And what it says is that cannabis should not be solely used in a child protection case. So the reason why that kind of doesn't make sense in California is that nobody in California is having their children taken solely because of cannabis. It's always kind of tacked on to some sort of other charge, right? And it's the same thing when they're saying that, oh, all these prisoners are going to be released. None of the prisoners who have